Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to do another fun block in Kimberbell's A Quilty Little Christmas wall hanging project. And in today's video we're going to work on this block right here, which is called Ornament number 1. So go ahead and grab your plastic pouch system that you have labeled Ornament 1, and let's head over to the embroidery machine and let's get started stitching. Okay, we're at the machine. I have a bobbin with white thread down below, and I put white thread up at the top of my machine because the block that we're going to be doing now, the Ornament 1 block, when you pull your plastic pouch system out, and if you're using the kit from Kimberbell, then we have white fabric. This is a really cool snowflake fabric. Alright, we have this for applique, and then this is the main background that I've fused with my Paylon 860. So I'm going to put the applique fabric to the side, and since I want my thread to match my fabric all the way through, including the quilting, that's why I put white thread up on top. Okay, you also need to get a pre-cut piece of batting that is 5 by 5 inches. Put that to one side, and we don't need anything from the embellishment kit, so we have all of our supplies. So let's go to the screen cam and load the design. Okay, I have a Baby Lock Destiny machine, which is identical to the Brother Dream machine. If you have something similar, you can follow along. I'm going to go to my embroidery module, going to go to my flash drive where I keep all my files. And I have the files in a subfolder called A Quilty Little Christmas. I'm going to go to the quilting first because we're doing block by block quilting. So we load the quilting design and then we load the machine embroidery design on top of that. Okay, I'm looking for the wavy designs, and then I'm going to go to the 4x4. That's a fun stitch out. All right, let's click set. I'm going to add the embroidery design on top. If you can't add, don't worry. You're going to stitch out the quilting, clear your machine memory, and then bring in this main quilt design. Okay, so now I want to go to folder 3, which is called Quilty Wishes. And there are the ornament blocks. So now I want Ornament 1, which is this one right here with the snowflake. Isn't that going to be pretty? I can't wait to do this one. All right, so let's go ahead and click set. It's going to bring it in and line it up exactly where it needs to be, so you don't need to do anything to it. Just click embroidery. All right, so we are ready to get started. So let's go to the hoop cam. And I have my white thread up on top, white bobbin down below, and my poly no-show mesh stabilizer in my 5x7 hoop. So let's put the foot down and let's stitch out the placement line for the batting. Okay, so now I'm going to lay my batting down and make sure that I have covered all sides of that placement line. Put the foot down and let's tack this batting down. Okay, so now I want you to take the hoop off the machine, take this over to a table, and I want you to trim away all of this excess batting from around all 4 sides of that stitch line, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, now that we have that all trimmed up, let's put the foot down and stitch out the placement line for the fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to lay my fabric down. This isn't really directional, but I kind of like the way that the swirls are going up and down. So I'm going to place it this way. If you do have directional fabric, you want the top to be here and the bottom to be here, because that's how the design is going to stitch out. So now I'm going to just feel for the batting, just to make sure I'm approximately centered. So I have lots of extra fabric around all 4 sides. Put the foot down and let's tack down the fabric. You got this. All right, so now I'm also going to do my quilting in the white thread because I want the ornament to stand out and I want the quilting to fall into the background. So I'm going to leave white thread up at the top of my machine to match the fabric. I'm going to put the foot down and stitch out the quilting. This is always fun to watch. It's a 1 minute in real life stitch out. Here we go. All right, that looks so good. Okay, so I'm going to switch out my thread now. And I'm going to put in a green thread, kind of an olivine bright green, which is going to be the ornament loop at the top. I think that'll be a very pretty green. So put your choice of green thread or whatever color thread you'd like your ornament loop to be, the loop that's at the top of the ornament. Put that thread up above. Make sure I don't have a loop. There we go. And let's put the foot down and stitch out the ornament loop. It's a 1 minute in real life stitch out. Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to switch out my thread again, and I'm going to put a red, kind of a brighter red, versus my darker red that I used in another block. I think I'm going to go the brighter red for this one. And this is going to be for the ornament cap, which is like just below the loop that we just did. So put a red thread up at the top, or a color of your choice for your ornament cap. Load your needle, and we'll stitch this out. This is also just 1 minute, but get that loop out. We don't like loops around the foot here because it'll break your needle and or worse. We don't want that. All right, let's stitch out the cap. All right, that looks cool. I'm going to take this off for a second because I have a little thread that I want to trim up. There we go. Put the hoop back on. Now I want to put the cream thread up on the top of my machine. That's going to match the fabric that we're going to tack down here in a little bit for the body of the ornament. So cream thread up on top. There we go. And let's just stitch out the placement line for the ornament fabric. Okay, there's another little thread I want to trim. All right, so now I'm just going to put this piece of ivory fabric right over the top of that placement line, making sure you've got all of it covered. Let's put the foot down and let's tack down this fabric. Cool. All right, so let's take the hoop off to the machine, go to a table, and I want you to trim away the excess fabric from all around that circle. Trim right up against those stitches, but don't nick the stitches, okay? And I'll meet you right back here. Okay, I've got that all trimmed up to the stitch line. I put the hoop back on. And now we're going to stitch a decorative accent to the outside of this ornament, and I'm going to do it in the same cream thread that I have up on top. That'll be a nice accent around that. So let's put the foot down and stitch that out. It's a 1 minute in real life stitch out. Let's go. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. All right, just going to trim off that little thread there. And now we need to switch our thread out to the green. I'm going to use the same green that I used up above for the ornament loop. Choose the color green that you would like to put up above and load it up. This is going to be for the outer snowflakes on this design. It has a green outside and a pink filling on the inside. So let's stitch out this green snowflake, and it's a 3-minute in real life stitch out. Very pretty. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? That's cool. All right, so now I'm going to switch out my thread and put my light pink thread up on the top of my machine. And you do the same. And if you want to switch it up, you can make your inside of your snowflake any color you want. There we go. Oops. Let's go ahead and thread it. Yeah, I didn't think it would do it because it had a little snag on the end. I could feel it when it didn't cut cleanly. Now let's try it. Okay, no loop. We're good. 2-minute stitch out. Put the foot down and let's stitch out the inside of the snowflake. Okay, we've got one color change left, and that is white. So it's going to stitch white additional snowflake accents in the middle. So put white thread on the top of your machine, and let's stitch this out. This is only 1 minute in real life. And then the stitching on this block will be done. You're doing great. All right, let's put the foot down and stitch this out. Here we go. So pretty. Got one little tail to take care of there. Look at that. It's hard to see the white accents on the side of the pink, but that is really pretty. It's a very subtle contrast with the ivory, but it shows very nicely. Isn't that cool? All right, so let's take the hoop off the machine. Let's take this over to the table, and I'm going to show you how to finish this block up. All right, look at that. Isn't that a pretty block? Very cute, very elegant as well. Love that, especially with the quilting. So all we have to do now is trim up this block. And we're going to use this outside stitch line, the tack down line for the fabric, as what we're going to measure against to trim up this block. So this block needs to be 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So I'm going to this stitch line, and I'm going to compare it to this stitch line. And the distance between the two is 4.5 inches. I'm going to do the same, the top to the bottom, just shy of 4.5 inches. So that is the perfect tool to use to square up this block. All right. So I'm going to turn it to one side. I'm going to line up the ruler with that first stitch line, and I'm going to move it over just a hair past that stitch line. Hold down the ruler. Can I see that stitch line? Yes, I can. Ruler moved a little bit, but that's all right. I'm still good. All right. So I'm going to line the block up on the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Going to line the ruler up on the mat, and can I see that stitch line? Yes, I can. And I can make my cut. Okay, here we go here. Same technique. I'm looking at that outside stitch line. I'm going to line myself up against it and go just a smidgen past. Hold my ruler down. Can I see that stitch line? Yes. Make the cut. Okay. I'm going to turn it over this way. Line it up with the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Okay, I'm lining it up with the cross line here, and then I'm lining it up on my mat. Can I see the stitch line? Yes, I can. Make that cut. All right. And you now have an elegant, adorable ornament block. Isn't that cute? You did it. Congratulations. I hope you love your ornament block. So I hope you have as much fun today making this as I did. And I hope you stay tuned here on Jolly Molly TV for more fun and more adorable blocks in Kimberbell's A Quilty Little Christmas wall hanging project. And I'm even thinking of maybe doing mine as a ladder quilt. The more I get into this block and see how amazing these blocks are, I'm thinking I might do that. We'll have to wait and see. But it's an option, is to make this into a ladder quilt. And if I do, I'll show you what I do along the way. All right? So stay tuned here on Jolly Molly TV. And until I see you next time, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.